Hey, what's up there, Roulette players? What's going on? Welcome back to Casino Wars. I'm your host, Lenny, and I have the same roulette system as promised as yesterday, except we are going to be using larger bankrolls, which increase the amount of money that we want to make. All right, so the first player up, he's only going to have one extra pull for $1,000. So he's going to be trying to make $2,050. However, he will be happy with $820. So let's go ahead and place them bets. So the last number to come out was a 0 and the middle was 16. So let's go with $100 on each and let's go ahead and spin. All right, and he's got a larger bankroll. All right, that's a 24 black. That is a loss first, and he's going to bet 500 on each and spin. All right, that's 26 black. That's a win, I believe. It is. It's going to go back to 100 and 100 and spin. All right, that's a 36 red. That is a loss, so he's going to go 500 and 500 and spin. Okay, so far he's $100 ahead. All right, that's a 15 black. That is a win. All right, so he's going to go back to 100 and 100. And he's only looking to get to $800 and I'll be happy. 33 black. All right, that's a win. So rebet. And we're going to clear that one out. And we're going to put it over there and spin. All right, if he makes this win, we're going to call it a quits for now. 22 black. That is a win. So we are going to call it quits, but we're not going to quit. We are going to just play minimum bet until we lose. So with that being said, 22 is the last number to come out. So 100 and 100 and spin. That's a 7 red. That's a win. All right. And I'm going to put 100 there and 100 there. And spin. Okay, we're at 900. That's a 26 black. All right, that's a win. We'll take it. Rebet. We're going to clear that one out. We're going to move it over there. And spin. All right, that's an 18 red. That's a loss, I believe. Nope, it's a win. Okay. So we're gonna now put 100 there and 100 there and spin. All right, that's a 10 black. That's another win, I believe. It is. So we're going to put 100 there and 100 there and spin. All right, we're up 1,200. All right. That's a 0. That's a loss. So we're going to take that loss and we're going to take $1,000 on that. Okay, and the next player is going to have a $3,300 bankroll, and that's a big difference between the $1,800 that he had the day before. So now he's got a $3,300 bankroll, which makes it his 25%, $825, and he's going to look to make $330. All right, so let's go ahead and let's place the bets. And the last one that come in was the middle, so 25 and 25 and spin. All right, that's a 36 red. That is a win. All right, rebet and not rebet, but we're going to take that one off and put that one on and spin. All right, we have a total bet of $50. That's an 8 black. That's another win. So we're going to put 25 there, 25 there, and spin. All right, we're at $50 so far. That's a 28 black. That's another win. All right, he's just making it. Just wants to make it to $330 or $325, and then he will play out the system. All right, the last one to come in was 28. So I'm sorry, not that one. That one, and spin. All right, he's up 75 so far. All right, that's a 5 red. All right, that's a win. So we're going to rebet, and we're going to clear that out first. All right, 5. So we're going to go 25 and 25 and spin. All right, he's at $100. All he's got to do is make it to 125. 24 black. That's a win. All right, rebet and spin. Oops, I forgot to change it. Ouch. That's a 36 red, though. He would have won regardless, because the one that would have came out would have been that one. So let's just place the bets here and spin. $150. And that's a 4 black. That is another win. So we're going to rebet, and we're going to take that one out. All right, so we're going to put this one and spin. All right, he's at 175. He's just looking to make 330 to reevaluate, and not reevaluate, but play the minimum bet until he loses at 330. Or he's going to try to get to 825, but he's not going to increase. So rebet, and hold on one second. What just won? 34. So he's going to go here and spin. He's at $200. He just needs $125 more. That's a 6 black. That is another win, I believe it is. So he's going to go 25 and 25 and spin. All right, another $100, and he'll be at his goal. That's a 12 red, though. That is a loss. He just took that one off. So we're going to go 50 and 50 and spin. All right, so he's got to be at 200. He was at 200, so let's go ahead and spin. And that's a 30 red. That is a win. So we can go back to 25 and 25 and spin. He's up 225. That's a 30. That's a loss. So he's going to rebet. No, he's going to put, yeah, he's going to rebet, and he's going to add 25 to each and spin. That's a 16 red. That is a win. So he's going to go back to normal. He's going to go back to 25 and 25 and spin. That's a 29 black. That is a win. All right. Rebet. But he's going to take that one out. He's going to put it there and spin. All right. He's at 250. He just needs 3 more wins. That's a 3 red. That's a win. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rebet. And we're going to take that one out and put it there. Actually, we're not. We're going to clear that out. Let's put one there and one clear and one there and spin. All right, and he just needs 2 more wins, and then he can just go on the roller coaster ride. All right, that's a 25 red. Rebet. Not rebet, but we're going to clear that one out, and we're going to move it over there. And let's go ahead and spin. Hopefully we get the win here, and then we will just play the minimum bet until we lose. That's a 33 black. All right, that's a loss. So we're going to rebet. We're going to add 25 and add 25 and spin. All right, that's a 30 red. That is a loss again. All right, so now we're going to go $100 on each of these and spin. That's a 16 red. I believe that's a win. That is. So I think we're at profit. All right, so we're going to go back to 25 and 25, except the 16. Whoops, let's clear that out. Let's go back to 25, and we're going to go this and spin. And we're at the point where we're just going to, actually, no, we're not. 17, I'm sorry, 17 black, that's a loss. So we're going to rebet, and we are going to add 25 and 25 and spin. All right. All right, that's a 9 red. All right, that's a win. So we're going to rebet. Actually, we're going to go to 25 and 25 and spin. All right, that's a 26 black. That's a win. We'll take it. Rebet. And we're going to take that one out and put it there and spin. I hope I chose the right one. That's a 0 though. That would have been a loss regardless if I made a mistake or not. But I didn't make a mistake, so we're going to rebet and we're going to add 25 to each of these and spin. That's a 10 black. All right, that's a win. So we're going to go and we're going to place 25 there, 25 there, and spin. All right, we need 2 wins. That's a 23 red. I believe that's a win. It is. So now we're going to put 25 there, 25 there, and spin. All right, that's a 24 black. That's a loss, I believe. It is. So we're going to rebet. And we are going to put $25 more on each of these and spin. That's a 29 black. That's a win. All right, so we're going to now we're going to put 25 there, 25 there. All we need is this one win, and then we can start playing base bet until we lose. That's a 27 black, red though. I think that's a loss. It is. So we're going to rebet. And we're going to add 25 and add 25 and spin. If we get the win here, we'll be back at 321 red. All right, we're back at 300. So now we can go 25 and 25. We need this win in order to go just place bets, and that's a win. All right. Now we're only going to play. We're only going to play minimum bet until we lose or until we hit $825, whichever comes first. It's a 31 black. That is a loss. So we are taking our $275 win. We're on to the third player here. Now, instead of a $720 bankroll, they got a bankroll of $3,820. They'll be able to go more distance if needed. All right, so let's go ahead and place them bets where he's going to be using $10 units. And let's go ahead and spin. And his goal is to make it to 955. However, he'll be happy if he makes it to $382. All right, and that was a win. So we're going to clear that out. We're going to put 10 there and 10 there and spin. All right, let's see if we can go all the way to $380. Let's see if we can make it all the way to 380 without risking too much. All right, so we're going to clear that one out, though. We're going to put $10 over there now and spin. We're at 20. We just won. We are up at $20. That's a 26 black. That's a loss. We just pulled that one away. So now we're going to put $50. So So we're going to put $50 here, $50 here, and spin. That's a 7 red. That's a win. Now we're up 50 bucks. So now we're going to go back to 10, 10 and 10, and spin. $50. That's a 23 red. All right, that's a $10 win. So we're going to rebet. And we're going to take away that one. So we're going to put 10 there and 10 there and spin. That's a 21 red. All right, that's a loss. So we're going to put 50. 50 there and 50 there and spin. That's a 22 black. All right, that's another loss. So now we have to put 10 units. So 10, that'll be $100 each. 100 there and 100 there and spin. So 1 red. All right, that's $100. Now we're going to go 100 there, 100 there. I think we have to do that because we're not in session profit. All right, let's try to get 2 in a row because we're not in session profit. We're not in session profit. All right, that's a 6 black. I believe that's a loss. That's the one I just pulled off. So now we have to go to $200 on each and spin. All right, and that is a 16 red. That is a win. All right. Now let's see where we're at. We're at $40. We're not in session profit, so let's just rebet, but we're not going to rebet. No, hold on, clear. We're going to put 200 on this one and 200 on this one and spin. All right, we're going for the 2 in a row because we're not in session profit. That's a 2 black. That's a win. All right, so now we're in session profit. So now we can go back to $10 on each. And there's $10 on this one and $10 on this one and spin. All right, we're at 240, looking to make 380. All right, that's a 26 black. That is a win. So we're gonna put 10 there, and spin. That's a 4 black. I believe that's a low. Nope, that's a win. Okay. Now we are going to put $10 here, $10 there, and spin. There's a 22 black. All right, that's a win. We're going to take that win, rebet, and we'll put the $10 there and spin. All right, 270. Looking to make 380. All right, that's 21 red. That's a loss though. So we're going to go ahead and put $50 here, $50 here, and spin. $24 black. That is a loss. All right, so now we're going to go 200. Now we're going to go 100. We're going to go 100 on each and spin. All right, we won't be in session profit if we win, and we did, but we're not in session profit, so we're just going to rebet, but we're gonna move the bets and spin. If we take this win, we'll be in a good shape. That's a 28 black. That is a win. So we're in great shape. Now we can bet minimum until we lose. All right, we're at 350. We had to make three. Oh no, we're not. We got to go 10 on this one. Whoops, clear that one. Let's get $10. $10 on that one, $10 on that one, and spin. We're going to get to 380. Sorry about that, guys. 380 is our goal. That's a 25 red. That is a loss. So we're going to put $50 on this one and $50 on this one and spin. That's a 13 black. That is a win. I believe we're now gonna clear this out, and we're gonna go back to $10 units, and we're gonna leave that one out. $10 units, and we're gonna leave that one out and spin. All right, we're going 380. We are at our 380, so we just have to play until we lose now. It's a 3 red. All right, that's a win. So we're gonna go ahead and rebet. And we're going to clear this out. We'll put 10 there, and spin. We're at 390 now. That's an 8 black. That's a loss. Okay. All right, guys, that's it then. We'll take a $370 win. Okay, the next player, we're going to play, the next player is the 4th player. He's got $5 units he's playing. He's got a $1,910 bankroll. He's going to be shooting for $475 for his goal. However, he'll be happy with $190 if he gets that far. So let's go ahead and place the bets. All right, let's go ahead and place the bets and spin. So 4 black, that's a win. All right, so he's gonna put 5 there and 5 there now and spin. That's a 5 red. It's a loss, so he's gonna take, and he's going to put $25. $25 on there and $25 on there and spin. All right, that's a 3. That's a loss. So now he's going to be putting $50 here and $50 here and spin. That's a 6 black. That's another loss. Wow. All right, so now he's going to be putting $100 here and $100 here. And he's going to spin. All right, that's a 30 red. That is a win, I believe it is. So now, since he's not in session profit, we are going to go to hundreds, and we're going to keep the 100, but we're going to put it there and there instead, and spin. We're going to hope for one more win to get back into profit. It's a 14 red. That is a win. He's back in profit. So now he can go back to $5 units, and he'll go to the first 12 and the third 12. Wait, clear that. Sorry. Clear that. Sorry. We're going to $5 units, and we're going to that column and that column and spin. All right, he's at $45. He's just looking to get to 190 for now. That's a 26 black. That's a win. So we're gonna now put 5 there and spin. He's at $50. That's an 11 black. All right, that's another win. So we're gonna rebet, and we're gonna actually clear that one out. Sorry, 5, 5, and 5, and spin. All right, we're at $55 now. That's a 2 black. All right, that's a loss. So we're gonna rebet, and we're gonna put $25 on there and 25 on there and spin. That's a 13 black. All right, that's a win. So we're gonna go back to 5, and we're gonna put them on there and spin. All right, we're at $70 now. Looking to make 190. That's a 35 black. All right, that's a win. So let's go ahead and rebet, and we're gonna clear that one out, and we're gonna change it to that one and spin. All right, that's a 16 red. All right, that's a win. So we're gonna go ahead and rebet, and we're gonna clear that one out and move it back over there and spin. Just need another $300 now. No, I'm sorry. No, just 190. So we only need $100 more. Okay, that's a loss though. So we're gonna rebet. We're gonna clear that out first. We're gonna actually take the $25 units, and we're gonna go there and there, and we're gonna go ahead and spin. All right, we're at $70. It's a 10 black. That's a win, I believe. It is. So we're gonna go back to $5 units, and we're gonna go here and here and spin. All right, we got $95 so far. That's a 0. All right, that's not good. So we're just gonna rebet. Actually, we're not gonna rebet. We're gonna take 25 and go there and spin. All right. $85 total win so far. That's a 7. That's a loss, I believe. It is. So now we're going to go to $50 on each and spin. That's an 11 black. That's another loss. So now we're going to go to $100 on each and spin. That's a 1 red. That's another loss, I believe it is. This does not happen that often, but now we gotta go to 200 and 200 and spin. That's a 26 black. That's a win. All right. Now we just gotta rebet and spin because we're not in session profit. That's a 22 black. That's a win. All right, now we can go back to $5 on each. And we're going 5 there, 5 there, and spin. We're at $135 now. It's a 14 red. That's a loss. So we're going to go back to $25 units. And we're going here and here and spin. That's a 31 black. All right, that's a win. All right, now we can go back to $5 units. And we're going to go 5 there, 5 there, and spin. We're 150. We're looking to make 190 to 195. That's a 20 black. That is a win. All right, so we're going to put 5 there and 5 there and spin. All right, that's a win. So we're going to go 5 there, and spin. That's a 2 black. All right, that's a win. So we're going to Go 5 there, and spin. I'll be happy with 190 if I can get to 190. That's a 3 red. I believe that's a loss. It is. So now we're going to go to $25 units and 25 and 25 and spin. That's a 0 though. That's no good. All right. Now we got to go to $50 units. 50 and 50 and spin. That's a 31 red black. All right, that's a win. But we're not in session profit, so we're just going to rebet, but we're going to clear that out. And we're going to move it over to here and spin. Now we're 155. That's a 19 red. That's a win. Now we're past our goal. So now we go back to $5 units until we lose. 5 there. Oops, clear. $5 there and $5 there and spin. Now we just go $5 until we lose. It's a 25 red. All right, that's a win. So now we're going to go 25 and 5 and spin. It's a 6 black. It's another win. So we're going to go 5 and 5 and spin. It's a 23 red. I believe that's another win. All right, we'll just keep taking these $5 wins at a time until we lose. That's fine. Or until we reach $475. That's a 24 black. All right, that's a loss. Okay. All right, so the fourth player got $210. All right. Didn't really have to go into the extra bankroll. This played out pretty much the same as yesterday so far. But let's go to the next player. Okay, so the fifth and final player has a bankroll, a huge bankroll of $1,632. And their goal is to make $408. However, if they make it to 163, they'll be happy with that. So let's go ahead and place the bets. And the last one to come out was 24. So that would have been the middle column. So we're going to play $1 and $1 and spin. Just looking to make $163 at the 10%. All right, and that is a $2 loss. So now we're going to go. Now we're going to go $5 on each of these and spin. That's a 32 red. That is a win. All right, so now we're going to go back to base of $1. $1 there, $1 there, and spin. That's a 21 red. All right, that's a win. We'll take a win. So now we're going to go $1 and $1 and spin. That's an 11 black. That's another win. So we're going to go $1 and $1 and spin. That's a 17 black. That's another win. So we're going to go $1 and $1 and spin. That's a 13 black. That's a loss, I believe. It is. So we're going to go $5 and $5 and spin. That's a 32 red. That's a win. We can go back to $1 and $1. And we will. $1 and $1 and spin. We're at $9 profit. That's a 34 red. All right, that's a loss. So we're going to go $5, $5, and spin. All right, that's a 16 red. All right, that's a win. So we can go back to $1 and $1. And spin. We're at $12. It's a 15 black. All right, that's a loss though. So we're going to go back to $5 and 5 and 5 and spin. That's a 9, a red. That is a win. All right, so we can go back to $1 and $1. And we're going on $1 there and $1 there and spin. We're at $15. We're looking to make 163 for our cutoff. That's a 30. That's a win. Rebet and spin. Nope. We just got the 30, so we put $1 there, and spin. We're at $16. It's a small grind up. That's a 0. We need losses in order to make a comeback. That's 5, and then we're going to go 5 and 5, same, because the higher number didn't come in yet. That's a 33 black. Now we lost again, so now we go to units. So it's $10. All right, so now we go to $10 and we go to there and spin. All right, that's a 2 black. I believe that's a win. We are in session profit. So actually, no, we're not. We were at 16. All right, so let's just go ahead, rebet that and spin, but let's change the bets and spin. Yeah, we were at $16, so we need to get higher than that. That's a 14 red. All right, that's a win. Good. Now we can go back to $1 and $1. $1 there and $1 there and spin. All right, that's a 6 black. All right, that's $1 win. So we're gonna rebet and hold on, clear that. We're gonna put $1 there and $1 there and spin. We're up 25. We're looking to get to 163 before we could cut off. It's a 31 black. That's a win. Rebet. And we're going to take that one off and we're going to put it over there and spin. That's a 15 black. That's a win. So we're just going to put $1 there and $1 there and spin. That's a 12 red. That's a win. So we're going to put $1 there and $1 there and spin. $28. It's a 25 red. That's a win. All right. So we're going to put $1 there and $1 there and spin. It's a slow grind up, but it's a safe. All right. That's now we're going to go 5 and 5. And that's what makes this fun. All right, spin, because now we'll go way up if we win. That's a 14 red. I believe that's a win. That's $5. Okay, so now we can go back to $1, $1 and $1 and spin. Now we're up $32. That's a 4 black. It's a $1 win. We'll take it. So we'll put $1 and $1 and spin. We're up $33 now. That's a 7 red. All right, that's a loss. So now we're going to go to $5. $5 there, $5 not there, there, and spin. All right, that's a 36 red. That's a win. All right, so now we can go back to $1, $1, and spin. We're up 36 now. It's a 13 black. All right, we got a win. So we're gonna rebet. And we're gonna put $1 and $1 and spin. We're at 37 now. Looking to get to 163. All right, that's a loss. So we're gonna go $5. And we're going to $5 there, $5 there, and spin. All right. It's 23 red. That's a loss. All right. So now we're going to go to 10 and 10. 10 and 10 and spin. Now we got to get 2 wins in a row to get back in session profit. That's an 8 black. That's a win. Now we just need 1 more win, but we're going to take that one out and we'll put 10 and 10 and spin. We just need 1 more to get to 45. And then we'll be back in session profit, but we lost. So now we got to do 20 units. So $20. So now we're going to go $20 on each. And we're going to go ahead and spin. That's 25 red. That's a win. I think we have to go again. So we're going to go 10, 20, 10, 20. I think we got to win another round. Yes, because we need 45. That's a 0 though. That's a loss. So with that, now we got to do. Okay, now we restart at 5 units. Now we restart with this. This is the first time we have had to do this. So now we restart at $5, $5 units, and that's going to be on this one and this one. No. Okay, wait. This is that was a loss on the double up. So what I would do is I would just stick with 10, 20, 10, 20, and spin. Yeah, we have to get another win. That's a 34 red. That's a loss. All right, so now we have to go. Now we have to go $5 and $5. $5 and spin. That's a 2 black. That's a win, I believe. All right, but that's not gonna. That's not good. Rebet. We gotta do 5 and 5 and spin. That's 12 red. That's a loss. Man, what am I doing? Alright, so now we gotta do 25 units. now we gotta do 25 and 25 and spin. It's a 7, that's a win. Now we gotta get, oh, that's a loss. All right, so now we gotta rebet, and now we gotta add 125. 100, 125. All right, hold on. Hold on 1 second. We gotta add 100, 100, and 25. 25 and spin. Can't afford to get another loss. That's a 7. That's another loss. $125. Now the last. Like I said, the guy has $1,632 bankroll. So now he's got to take. He's down 350. Just spin without betting. Fuck. I hate spinning without betting. Well, that's a 0. That would have been fucking really hurt. All right, so now we gotta go to $625 on each. 5, 5, 6, 6, 25 and 625. And now we gotta spin. This is a $1,250. This is it. This is it, man. This is do or die. All right, so let's go ahead and spin. And we got 20. That is a win. That is awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to $1. $1 and spin. All right, so now we just have to make now we just go until we lose. That's a 5. That is a win. Rebet. We got $1 and spin. Now we'll just take $1 wins at a time. That's a 26 black. All right, that's a win. So we're gonna rebet, and we're gonna clear that out, and we're gonna move it over there and spin. That's a 9 red, that's a win. I just moved it over there. So now we're gonna put $1 there and $1 there and spin. It's a 10, that's a loss, that's it. So we're gonna call it at 276. That's a good profit, even though we went deep into the bankroll. We took a huge risk, but we got $276. All right, and let's just recap it. The recap with the roulette algorithm by the roulette master. He had a bigger bankroll. We had larger bankrolls that we used. The first bankroll that we used for the first player was $7,200. I upped that by $1,000, and he made $1,000. The second player, we upped it from $1,800 to $3,300, the bankroll. And he actually made $275. And the third player, he upped his bankroll from $720 to $3,820. That was a huge increase, and he made $370. And the fourth player, he increased his bankroll from $360 to $1,910, and he made a $210 profit. And the last guy, he increased his bankroll from $72 to $1,632, and he made a $276 profit. So that's it. That's it, and that's the recap. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another roulette spin. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your week.